Hey everyone, hope you all doing great. Myself Jeevita. Welcome you all for the series on Python for data science. In this video, I'll be discussing different data types available in a Python. Okay, firstly, let's understand what are the different types of data available. Okay, there are three different types of data in a Python. They are like, numeric, a boolean, and a string. So these are the three major types of data in a Python. Let's understand each one of them. So very first one, what is numeric data type? In the name itself, it suggests that it's a numbers. Yes. In a Python, numeric data type is represented in the form of numeric values or a numbers. This numeric data is classified into different types. They are like integer, float, and a complex. So these are the three different types of numeric data available in a Python. Alright, let's see each one of them. What is integer? We all studied about this integer in our lower classes. Since our school days, we are studying this. Integer data type includes both positive and a negative numbers, including 0. That means if you take any number line, all the values within a range of minus infinity to plus infinity is basically considered as an integer. Now let's see the practical implementation of an integer, like how to define integer, how to find the type of an object, all those stuff. Let's define an integer 10 and also let's find the type of an object. Okay, let's define and also let's find to which data type does it belong. So let's write a variable name, that is number equals 10. So I have assigned a value. Now let's print the output. So for that I'm gonna use print statement, print of number. Well, execute the cell, you'll get the output, that is 10. So now I have a question. We all know that 10 is an integer. So now how do you question your Python? How do you question your Python? I want answer from your Python. Your Python has to tell me what type of data it is. So for that we use a function called as a type. Type is a function which is used to find the data type of an object. It is used to find the data type of an object. So pretty simple. Just use a print statement again. Print type is a function that we use, type of a variable, that is number, type of number, execute. So it shows like class is an integer. So yeah, Python is telling that 10 is an integer. This is how we find data type of an object. Let's do one more example. Alright, let's define integer 30 and also let's find type of an object. So let's give a variable as value equals 30 and let's print the value, run the cell. Okay, we got the output. Now let's find the type of an object. Let's say print type of value, which is 30. Oh sorry, print type of a value which is an integer. Yeah, it is telling you that 30 is an integer data type. Hope it's clear. Okay. The next data type is a float. You know what is float? Float data type basically includes both positive and a negative decimal numbers. So fractions or a decimals are basically called as a float data type. Now let's see how to implement this float data type using a Python. So let's define a float that is 5.8 and also let's find data type of an object. Let's find data type. Okay, let's say x equals 5.8 and let's print the output. So for that I'll use print statement, print x, and then I want to find the data type, no? So for that I'll just use print statement and then type function print type of the variable name, that is x. Yes, it belongs to a float. Alright, let's do one more example. So the next variable is, let's define the float value, that is minus 9.2 and also let's find its data type. Let's find its data type. So let me define variable like a y equals minus 9.2. Let's print the variable, that is print of y, and also let's print the type of y. So print the output and print the type of Why? It has to tell me it belongs to the data type that is a flute. So this is an example. This is how we define a flute and this is how we find the data type of an object. Alright, next one is a complex. So this is the special type of number in a number system which are basically represented in the form of a plus jb, where a is a real part and b is an imaginary part, where g is imaginary number, that means it is square root of -1. Any negative number within a square root basically represents imaginary number. Let's see how to define these complex numbers using Python. So pretty simple. Let's define a complex number, that is define complex number 4 plus 7g, and also let's find its data type. Let's define a complex number 4 plus 7g and let's find its data type. Let's say a equals 4 plus 7g, that's how I'm defining 4 plus 7g. So let's print the output. Let's print the variable a. Let's execute and let's print the type of an object, that is print type of a variable a. Print type of variable a. So it shows that 4 plus 7g is a complex number. So this is how we define and this is how we find the data type. Let's do one more example. Let's define a complex number. Define a complex number 6 minus 2g and also find its data type. Give a try. How do you define? Pretty simple. Let's give it variable as b. B equals 6 minus 2g and let's print the output. Let's use print statement and print b. Run the cell. Okay, we got the output. Now let's find the type of an object. So print type of the variable name, that is b. Type of b. Well, it shows that 6 minus 2g is a complex number. So this is how we define a complex number and we find its data type. Hope it's clear. Alright. So the next type of data available in a Python is basically a boolean. You know what is boolean? Boolean data type basically takes two possible values, that is true and a false. One important thing that you have to remember is integer value for true is 1 and integer value of false is 0. Okay, this is all about a boolean. Now let's see how to define a boolean using Python. Let's do the practical implementation. So let's define a boolean value that is a true and also let's try to find its data type. Define boolean that is true and find its data type. So let me give the variable name as, let's say for example, value 1 equals, let's say true. Value 1 equals true. Let's print the output. So for that, let me just use print statement, print value 1. So run the cell. Well, it's a true, we got the output. Now let's find type of an object. Print type of a value 1. We know that true is a boolean, but how do you question your Python? So it is telling you that it's a bool. Hope it's clear. And one important thing, make sure the boolean value should always start with a capital letter. If you give a small letter, it will throw an error. So let's try one more example. Let's try to define the boolean value that is false. Define boolean that is false and try to find its data type. So let me give the variable name as a value2 equals false. Let's print the value2, print value2 and then execute, or else you can just print type of value2 and then you can run the cell. Yes, so output is a false and it says that false belongs to boolean data type. If you write a small f, it will throw an error. So make sure whenever you are defining boolean values, you have to start that with a capital letter. So this is all about the boolean values. Hope it's clear. The next type of data type is string. Strings are very important in a Python. Strings in Python are basically arrays of bytes representing Unicode characters or a sequence of characters, that means text kind of data. It can be a word, it can be a sentences, or it can be a paragraph kind of text. We call that like a string. There are different ways to define a string. It can be a single line string or multi-line string. So how do you define a single line string? You know what a single line string? It may be a single word or single sentence. So single line strings are basically defined within single quotes or a double quotes. Let's do the practical implementation. How to define single line strings? Pretty simple. So let's take one example such as, let's define a string name, let's say for example Python. Let's define Python and let's find its data type. We know Python is a string, but how do you question your Python? Okay, first let's define. How do you define? So let's give a variable that is code equals, let's say Python. So since it's a string kind of data, Python should always be written within either single quote or double quote. So let's print code. Well, we got the output that is a Python. If you write without a quote, it will throw an error. And also let's check the type of an object. Print type of code. So it's giving us string. So Python is a string. Remember, whenever you are writing the text kind of data, make sure you always write that within either single quote or a double quote. Let me show one more example how to write it within a double quote. Okay, let's define another string. Let's say for example machine learning. I want to define a machine learning and also I want to find its data type. Define machine learning and find its data type. So pretty simple. Let me call some variable, let's say course. Course equals machine learning. Make sure you write that machine learning within single quote or a double quote. So I'm writing it within double quotes. So it's machine learning. Machine learning. Well, let's print the output. So just use print statement, print. So call your variable that is a course. Execute, alright. Now let's check the type of an object. So for that, let's use print type of course. So it has to give me string. So this is how we define single line strings and this is how we check the type of an object. Hope it's clear. You have to write your strings within either single quote or a double quote. Remember that. So what if you have a multi-line strings? What if you have your string in multiple lines? In that case, you have to write or you have to define them within triple single quotes or triple double quotes. This is a very important. Now let's see the practical implementation of like how to define multi-line strings. Well, I have a paragraph that is gratitude is a habit. It's a way of looking at the world and all the good things and with a feeling of appreciation regardless of whether or not your current situation and so on. So we have a paragraph here. So basically I have my text in 5 lines. We call it like a multi-line strings. So how do you define this? You have to define those multi-line strings and also you have to check the type of an object. So pretty simple. In order to define this, I'm calling my variable as a text. Text equals. I have told you that you have to write this multi-line strings within triple single quote or triple double quotes. So I had put my content, I had put my paragraph with triple single quotes. Let's print our text. So we got the text and let's check the type of an object. Just print and see type of text. So well, it says that it's a string. So similarly, you can also define this multi-line strings within triple double quotes. Pretty simple. You can just say like a quote equals, just use triple double quotes and put that paragraph inside the triple quotes. So now let's print code. Alright, and also let's check the type of an object. So just type print type of a variable code. It has to give us a string. Hope it's clear. This is how we define, single line strings and also the multi-line strings. Well, this is all about, the different types of data available in a Python, and this is how you define your data types in a Python, and also that's how you check the type of an object using type function. Hope it's clear. Thank you. Happy learning.